Hi guys, and today I'll be playing the Armadillo and the Princess. The distant and cold planet of Cheantas has many secrets stored away, deep and dark and painful secrets that may lay dormant in the mind of Queen 634, Thiglnoom. What happened to her parents? Very few know, but it's a story that she'll never be able to forget. He was awoken by a shrill shriek. This happened almost every night. He turned to look at his wife. She was still asleep. She becomes so used to it. It's better that way. He crept out of bed, making an effort not to disrupt her rest. As he approached the wailing screeches and sobs, his tiptoes dissolved into gentle footsteps. There was no need to sneak up on her. 634? What's troubling you? There she was, Princess 634, barely 5 years old. She swallowed herself up in her blankets, tears and snot pouring down her face. Papa, she cries and unravels herself from the blankets. Armando closes the space between them before she got out of bed. What was it? A monster. What did it look like? It had sharp teeth, and teeth behind its teeth, and its eyes were popping out in its head, and... Her tangent got muffled as she hugged her father. Oh dear, oh dear. He gently stroked her back and kissed the top of her head. He lay down on the bed, pulling her with him, wrapping around her like a protective shell. Usually that'll be enough. She shivered and hugged him until she dozed off again. And not tonight. Papa, I'm still scared. Can I sleep with you and Mama? He shivered and instinctively shook his head. That wouldn't be a good idea, Princess. Please? His silence was enough of an answer. 634 sniffled and hugged him tighter, whimpering again. I'm sorry, Papa. Would you like a story instead? 634's eyes lit up and she nodded excitedly. Yes, please. Armando slowly sat up to think. 634 placed her head on his lap. While stroking her hair, he began. This is a story of an armadillo. What's an armadillo? A funny little creature with a funny little tail. Your mother loves them. This armadillo, he had a wife armadillo and baby armadillos. They all lived together in a cozy hole that they dug together. They lived in a dirty hole? Oh, it may have been dirty to us, but that's what they loved. The warm, earthly dirt and soil. He dug the blanket over her shoulder, essentially swaddling her again. One day, this armadillo went into the forest to find some yummy bugs and insects to eat. Ew. Don't knock it till you try it, little one. He hummed in amusement and ruffled her hair. To his dismay, he found a monster with layers of teeth and bulging eyes that set the forest ablaze. No! Yes, a horrible fire spread through the forest, eating away at the trees, the soil, the bugs. It put the sun to shame. I don't like this story. Oh, but it has a happy ending. Does it? Yes, listen carefully. The monster captured the armadillo as a pet, locked him away in a little cage with no family, no friends. The armadillo was so sad that he didn't want to do much of anything anymore. Papa? Oh yes, then one day, a little princess arrived in the monster's home, a beautiful, kind little princess. She knew the armadillo was sad, and though she couldn't free him from the cage as she could not reach the key, she made the armadillo's days brighter by making him gifts, by talking to him, listening to his stories, and making him laugh. Armando looked down at 634. She's dozed off. I'll write an ending some other day. He tucked her in, kissed her forehead, and crept back to his room. 634 doesn't eat like that. You look like a swine. Sorry, Mama. It's Mother. But I like Mama. Don't test me, pig. 634's ears dropped and she whimpered. You sound like one now, too. A squealy, whiny, pink little pig. The queen jeered as she poked 634's cheeks while taunting her, enjoying the sad squeaks the young girl made. Oh, if only you stayed this small forever. Your puppy fat would never grow out and I could squish you forever. Then again, if you keep eating the way you do, I might not have to worry about that. 634 sniffled and burst into tears, screaming and sobbing. She wailed and screeched, banging the table with her small fist. Oh, smack. The queen would not tolerate any misconduct at the table. The silence was deafening. The princess stopped crying, for the time being anyways. Her cries erupted once more in the night. What is it, princess? Papa! She wailed for her father again, running to hug his tail. She sniffles and looks up at him. I want another story. His heart broke, seeing her so sad. It was a sadness he hadn't seen much, but when he did, he knew what her mother had been doing. All right, all right. He gently scooped her up and kissed her forehead. This is a story of the armadillo who wanted to save the little princess. Them again? He chuckled and nodded. The sequel, if you'll allow it. Very well. The monster knew the armadillo loved the little princess and looked forward to their every visit. The monster decided to use this to its advantage. It would threaten the princess, call her names, and sometimes even hurt her. The armadillo couldn't reach her, as he was still in the cage. The monster told the armadillo if it ever got free, it would hurt the princess he loved so much, that it would eat her alive and make him watch. The armadillo certainly didn't want to find out if the monster was bluffing or not if it would put the kind princess or at greater risk. Armando looked down at the princess. Seems his voice was enough to put her to sleep despite the cliffhanger. He paused, gazing at the small princess he loved so much. One day, while the princess slept by the cage, the armadillo promised, I will save you, my little princess. Okay, so he's the armadillo, and the queen is the big bad monster. There was a deafening silence in the princess's room. She stirred from her sleep, another nightmare. Papa? Papa! She called out for him. He always answered her call without a doubt. So, where was he? Papa? She crept out of bed and carefully creaked the door open. The dark night still had the castle halls engulfed in his grasp. She paused and wanted to venture into the dark. How did her father do this every night? Papa? She tiptoed past each room, not wanting to disturb any sleeping servants. Father must have the best ears out of all of them. How he was the only one that ever heard her cry was a mystery. She soon made it to the door that led to her parents' bedroom. Her father nearly never let her go in there, especially at night. Once or twice, her mother would carry her in there when she was a baby, but she never even answered to 634's cries anymore, let alone bring her in there. She reached up to the doorknob and twisted it. Papa? She whispered. She heard a horrified gasp. No, princess, don't come in. But you can finish your story. She continued to push the door open against her father's wishes. She saw him on the bed, kneeling over her sleeping mother. A stick of some sort in his hand, a stick dripping with goopy liquids like paint. Guards? Strats? Somebody, anybody, get the princess out of here. It wasn't long until nearly all the staff was woken by their king's cries. More were woken as the princess was dragged from the room. Come on, princess, let's get you something to drink while the guards talk to your dad. No, I want my papa. Let me go back to my papa. He bit down on his lip. He was new to the castle staff. He wasn't sure whether to disobey the young princess's orders, even if it was for her own good. Okay, but don't get too close. You might disturb him. The princess ripped her arms from his grip and pushed past all the servants and guards' legs. She found a stick dab and plunged into her father's throat, his own hand gripping the handle. The armadillo had saved the princess. It feels so surreal now, like a bad dream. She heard a soft wail coming from the crib. Huh? Sorry, did 6:35 wake you? Oh, it's fine. You can go back to sleep. I'll handle this. No need. I got this one. Dove kissed Pandora's cheek and groggily got out of bed. She peeked through the window. The sun was ever so slightly emerging from the mountains. She reached in and pulled out the small prince. You're like a little alarm clock, buddy. She bounced him in her arms while tickling his belly. Let's get you something to eat. And maybe I'll tell you a story. Okay, and that is the end of the armadillo and the princess. Obviously the armadillo was her father. I'm guessing the queen must have... Maybe, like, he had to marry her against his will to, like, save his family or whatnot. And he had to start a family with the queen. and he couldn't. He could leave, but he didn't want to leave like his daughter behind. So he must have one night decided to kill the queen, and I guess he ended up dying too as well because that's like treason maybe in their country. I'm not sure, but yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye.